Hey everybody, Movie Review Next Door here, and I'm back with another review, and I'm going to be capping off the Love Chunibyo and Other Delusions series with Love Chunibyo and Other Delusions Take On Me, also known as, just as a joke, I wanted to say it, uh, Chunibyo Demo Koi ga Shitai movie, Take On Me. But yeah, um, from 2018, directed by Tatsuya Ishihara. Now, I won't have a ton to say about this because essentially this is a feature-length episode. Now, when I say that, it would usually mean that I think that the animation is not up to par with other theatrical anime productions. I mean, theatrical being in Japan, as theatrical anime don't really come to America that often. But how would I judge the animation? It is on par with the show. Um, I will say this movie does not utilize the sci-fi stuff, the like, in Rika, in everybody with Chunibyo's heads, it doesn't really utilize that as much as the rest of the show, and I think that's kind of the point, is that it's trying to be more realistic because her and Yuta are kind of Rika and Yuta are kind of getting into the relationship a bit more and trying to at least kiss at some point. And one thing that I can give this over the second season is that it does improve on pacing for damn sure. Sorry about that. But yeah, let me talk about the summary. Basically, um, Rika's sister, her older sister, is trying to move her out of the apartment building so that she can go with her to Italy, where she has a stable job. And basically, Yuta and Rika decide after talking with their friends to elope, basically run away, um, and at one point even get married. So the whole film is basically kind of a road trip movie without the car. It's more them walking to different locales and stuff. And for that, I like the movie. I like it. I'd say it's somewhere in between season 1 and season 2 in terms of quality and overall like how much I enjoyed it. I will say that the ending, for me at least, is not the most satisfying. And also I do feel a little bit cheated, and I'll talk about what I mean. But in the terms of voice acting, again, I watched the dub for all three of these. First season, second season, and this movie. I did not watch Rika version because it's basically the same thing as the first season, just truncated and certain extra scenes. So kind of non-essential. Um, but the voice acting is still pretty good. I still like the voice acting. I do think that the mother character, Rika's mother character, the character of Rika's mother still doesn't get much of an extra treatment here. Same with Makoto Ishiki. And Kumin. They both feel like ignored characters, and that's something I can say for the entire series. They seem to be trying to build them up as interesting characters, and then they'll just come out of the blue to have like, oh, some random wisdom, and it's like this is out of character for you. But yeah, it's this movie is again basically a romance. Okay, you don't really need to watch the rest of the series to, I think, enjoy this film. Because for the most part, it is kind of a separate thing, but it is continuing the relationship that was built up, at least in season 1. Because season 2 doesn't do a lot of building up, it doesn't push the plot very much at all. So, this is basically just a capping to the first and second season. Um, And I guess it does leave it open to have a sequel, but this film came out in 2018 and is now 2023, 5 years after. So I'm not holding out a ton of hope. But yeah. Um but yeah, I do like it. It is a ton. It is way better paced than the second season because the second season, I know I'm comparing a 90-minute movie to or 93, 94-minute movie to a TV series or a TV season, which I know it's unfair, but this is basically an extended TV episode. I can't really consider it a film or a theatrical anime production, but since the animation in the first and second season, sorry, I got something stuck in my teeth, don't worry. Uh, um, there's not a ton of change again to the style. There's nothing really new introduced in this movie other than the concept of Rika and Yuta becoming closer and closer, which is what the entire show is supposed to be. And especially with this movie, it reminded me of Toradora, two people who feel like polar opposites. One person's trying to get over something, one person embraces it. They come together, they sort out their differences, they learn to be better people. At first, you think the main character's going to go for one character, and then they end up going for the complete opposite character. They end up eloping. That's what happened in Toradora. Like, this show feels so similar to Toradora, and it makes me want to watch it. I think I'm gonna watch some episodes tonight. But yeah, I I just wish this movie was a bit more original, just like the rest of the series. Love Chunibyo and Other Delusions gets by with its animation a lot, and I'm trying to come at it with like, okay, the animation is still great in the second season, but the plot took a massive dive in quality because the show devolves into it basically the second season of Chunibyo I'd say is comparable to those the anime Ouran High School Host Club? The two episodes where there's these sisters from this like ballet academy or something that try to get um what's her name? The main character who's a girl that's pretending to be a boy so that nobody thinks anything's up. I can't remember the main character's name, but the character played by Caitlin Glass. Um, and those episodes I always skipped. The two times I've watched Ouran High School Host Club, I skipped those episodes because I found them to be fucking annoying. They were only there to create conflict where there was no conflict. Like, oh, the guys make some mistakes while the girls are here, so she's like, oh, maybe I'll join them. But, like, nothing really gets done in the second season of Chunibyo, and that's how I felt. It kind of felt like 6 episodes of that and 6 episodes of a pretty decent rom-com. And makes me wish that the second season was truncated with all of the plot relevant stuff into a movie. It might be a bit rough, but I think it would have been a better experience. With this film, you basically get Yuta and Rika on the run. They're going across Japan, basically looking at different places. They're trying to outrun Toka, Rika's sister, who has like a tracker on Rika's phone, and that's an I have a big issue with that because there are random times where there's really stupid contrivances around that don't get explored even. It's just like, oh, look, there's tension, but there really isn't because you know that like it wouldn't make sense for an anime like this to have like a twist ending where it's like, oh, she actually does go to Italy without Yuta, and it's like, it's this is just here to create false tension, and it's not even because I watch a lot of movies or anime. It's I just understand. I'm not stupid. But yeah, they're basically running away. Dekamori and um, damn it, what's her name? Nubutani and Dekamori, Shinka Nubutani and Sanai Dekamori are basically blackmailed into looking for Rika and Yuta by Toka because she has a picture of them and she has a recording of them like planning everything and Satone and Kumin are trying to help Yuta and Rika. So it kind of messed with my expectations because from the poster, just looking at the poster, and I know the camera's not auto-focusing on it, but I'll explain it. All of the characters are kind of just together, and it looks like, oh, there's going to be a kind of a vacation movie thing. And for some reason, I mean, they drew it so that Yuta is really small but looking kind of weird. But and I was kind of hoping that there would be more of a like thing about the battles between the friends because it had always been like friends versus enemies, and the only time they used the battle thing, like the imagination battle thing, was when it was friends against friends who were being stubborn. And I kind of wish they did a bit more with that. I know they were trying, I can think of what they were trying to do is that they were trying to have it so that it felt like, oh, they're trying to bring it more down to earth. I understand, but it kind of loses a bit of its identity that way too. It becomes a little bit less interesting to me. Again, freaking Kuman and the other kid, Makoto, are kind of wasted characters in this again. Makoto basically has like an extended cameo. He's in one scene where he talks to Yuta for a second, and then there's a scene later where he's seen babysitting the kittens. And yeah, it's again, I don't hate this film. I think it's a pretty alright sequel to the show, or pretty alright closer to the show for now. I don't know if they're going to make any more of the show. If they do, I would strongly suggest they don't do 12 episodes. I strongly suggest they do 10. And if they're going to do the whole thing of aging them up so that they are like living together, they're married, some type of thing, that could be interesting. I'd like to see what they do with the Chunibyo thing with older characters. I think that could be potentially interesting. But if you have to end the series somewhere, I'd say end it here. But yeah, if you like the first and second season, I really think you'll like this. Um, Again, it's not essential viewing for the story, but it does, well, they do finally kiss, so that's something. I know, spoiler, whatever, it's a romance movie, they're gonna fucking kiss at the end. But yeah, I did like it. So, that was my review of Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions. Take on me, and ho- hope y'all enjoyed the review. I already said that. I'm a dumbass. Uh, Comment down below what you thought of the film if you saw it, what you want me to look at next, and movie review next door.